Our next guest, a very funny comedian and popular podcast host. His new series, Free Bert, premieres Thursday on Netflix. Let's take a look.
Can you forgive me?
It's fine. Just don't let it happen again.
Hold on. It was that easy. You don't hate me?
No. Oh, she's way past that. Now that Zach Kochka started DMing her.
What?
How would you know that unless you went through my phone?
I went through your phone, bitch. How do you know?
Please welcome to the show, Bert Kreischer, everybody. How are you?
I am spectacular.
I'm so happy to have you here. And before I get to your wonderful show, I want to compliment the leather pants.
Yeah, thank you, Seth. I don't want to lay on my deathbed one day and think, wow, I never wore leather pants.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, when you fart in leather pants, it's yours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like peeing in a wetsuit.
Oh, yeah.
And
It
you
stays.
It stays.
Yeah.
And I have crazy gas. I'm on Manjaro, so.
Hey, you've often talked about, your family on stage, right?
Yes,
like
yes.
they've always been fair game to you.
Yeah.
But now this is a show that's also based on your life. And by the way, two fantastic, the actors you found for your kids are unbelievable.
That clip is my favorite clip. That's my favorite clip.
Yeah.
That is exactly who those girls are.
But it must be strange casting your own family. Like, what was that process like?
So my wife's a redneck, and she has an accent. And it was crazy watching people do research on podcasts and specials about these people and then come in doing their impression of these people.
Right. And by the way, you're the one who provided the research.
Oh, yeah. I make my wife's accents like, I talk like this. And people were coming in just committing hate crimes. And my wife's in the room. They're like, well, I do. I'm going to get some Mozano. And my wife's like, I can't understand her. And I was like, she talking the same language. Yeah, the girls were great. The girls were wild. But watching people audition for Leanne was hysterical. And the woman that booked it, Arta Marine, nailed it.
Yeah.
First person walked in the room, Leanne, as she left, Leanne goes, that's me.
Yeah. Arden's great.
She's
I'm a big
amazing.
fan of her. She's backstage.
She's
it was lovely to
backstage.
see
Let her
her.
hear it.
Yeah, give it up for Arden. The girls on the show, younger than your daughters now, correct?
Yes.
But your daughters must have, what was their trepidation knowing that you were going to cast them?
I want you to hear this because, okay, they tried to kill the project.
Okay.
They legit were like, yo, I'm not cool with it. I'm going to reach out to your lawyer. And I was like, what?
Oh, they didn't even think you would consider not doing it.
Oh, no, they're like,
they were gonna
we
take
know
legal
you're going to
action.
leverage our lives and our, yeah. And so they tried to kill it. They go, I don't want my names used. I don't want my likeness used. I'm not going to agree to this. And then I was like, yo, you don't kill it before a pickup. Wait till we get picked up for 6 episodes, then negotiate. And so we shot the pilot. We showed them the pilot. And in the first episode, there's a dinner scene where I have royally screwed up, and they let me have it. And my girls watched it, and they're like, oh, you're making fun of Dad.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Dad's an idiot. This is great. Oh, we're going to love this. And then they came to set, and they were like, this is so good. They're like, and you even got fatter to play Dad? How great is that?
Are they the kind of kids that like to go see their dad do stand-up? No.
Dude, I did my daughter's in college, and I did the arena in her town. And so I'm a proud dad. I go, yo, I got the backstage locked up. I got bartenders. I own my own vodka. It's decked out in vodka, Porosos. I got booze. I got food. I got a big spread. Bring all your friends. I'll take care of everything. And on the very last day, she calls me up. She goes, I'm not coming. And I go, baby, and I'm kind of hurt. She goes, Dad, I don't really want to bring all my friends to a show where my dad talks about having sex with my mom.
Yeah.
And then calls me and my sister idiots for an hour. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess that would be awkward.
Obviously, you're an incredible performer on stage. It is, though, still, even when you're playing yourself, it's acting. Like, did you find it easy to act? I know you've done versions of this before, but like...
Versions of me?
Well, you've played versions of
I
yourself.
played me in The Machine, the movie, and I'm playing me. I play me really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one fastball, and it's me.
By the way, as a guy who sits behind a desk as himself, I am not judging.
Dude, my acting chops suck. I mean, you'll like it in this show because I'm playing me.
Yeah, it's very good. By the way, I would not say you're great in it.
Oh, thank you. But like, yeah, I'm not, like when other actors work with me, they're always shocked. because like I'm not prepared.
Yeah.
I don't read the script.
You do help write them.
I write it, but I
Yeah.
don't read it after
Yeah,
I
okay.
wrote it. And then I just come in, and then I can't learn a scene off memory. I have to block it first. And the worst is like in life, and I don't know if you notice here, I'm not a really good listener. And in the second episode, there's this very pivotal scene of the whole series where this father is talking to me about his son, and I'm supposed to listen, and I don't listen. And I'm doing it, and I hear Tony Hernandez, Lily, and my wife cracking up in Video Village. And I get done, and I come up, and I go, what was I doing wrong? And they're laughing hysterically, and they're like, no. Watching you pretend like someone who's listening is the funniest thing we've ever seen in our life. They're like, you're doing a version of someone listening, like.
All right, so you are kind of famously known, and it happens in the first episode of the show as well, performing shirtless, which is, I will say, like, it seems like a stroke of genius, but when it first happened, it did not come from a place of genius.
No. I was in Dayton, Ohio, 75 tickets, not sold, comped. Thursday night,
Yeah.
I was making $1,300 a week, half of which went to managers and agents. And I did not want to be there. I wanted to be home with my kids.
So
my
where
wife.
were you living at the time? Were you in LA then? Or
I was in LA. My wife was running an apartment building. We had free rent, and I was making no money.
Okay, so you're across the country in a room with nobody in
Nobody.
Dayton, Ohio.
And I'm in the corner going, I don't want to be here. And Doc, the manager of the Dayton Funny Bone, brought a bucket of beers, and he said, have a good time. Try to have a good time. And he played Ram Jam from the DJ booth, and I walked on stage, and I just killed a beer, and I put it down, and then I just ripped my shirt off, and the room went crazy, and I started giggling at how stupid it was. And I got put in a good mood. And immediately I was like, oh, this is what it should be. It should be fun and loose and crazy and wild. And so I started taking my shirt off. And then one night, and I put it back on. One night I'm in Columbus, Ohio. I rip it off. I keep it off because something happens in the room. And 20 minutes in, I go, oh, I should put it back on. And this woman in the back just goes, keep it off. And from that day forward, I've kept my shirt off.
It's amazing.
Yeah. The best, Seth, I gotta tell you this story. So sometimes I get recognized,
Yep.
and people will say in public, can I get a picture? I go, yeah, of course. They go, can you take your shirt off? So I'm in a NASCAR event, okay? Trying to close the deal with NASCAR. We're doing the party the night before the Daytona 500. It's still happening. Leonard Skinner, me, Diplo West.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm trying to close the deal. I'm almost closed the deal with NASCAR. All I gotta do is get out of the race. Coca-Cola 600. I'm leaving the suites. I'm about to get in the elevator. The door next to the elevator opens, and it's a 13-year-old boy and his mom, and he sees me, he goes, oh, the machine! And now I'm looking, I'm like, all right, lower demographic, I get recognized, cool. He goes, can I get a picture? I go, absolutely. He goes, can you take your shirt off? So I look around, and NASCAR's like, yeah. So I take my shirt off. I got my arm around this child. He hands his phone to his mom, and his mom's my age. His mom's confused. She goes, who are you? And I said, I'm a gay porn star. You should get to know your son. And this kid, without missing a beat, looks at me and he goes, real cool, dude. We get into the elevator, and the dudes in the elevator were with me go, there's absolutely no way that he's gonna convince his mom at 13 that he's fans of a 53-year-old shirtless comedian named The Machine. He's like, you screwed that kid. You screwed that kid.
You gave him a memory. I would argue you gave him a memory. So I did not realize this was part of your biography, Bert. But you went to Florida State University, which
I
was
did.
named the #1 party school by Rolling Stone magazine.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Northwestern University. We
that a
were
good
like
one?
number 300 party school.
But like good, like reading school?
It was, yeah, we did reading. Yeah. It was a good reading school. And you went to Florida State, and this is the craziest thing, though. You were named the top partier at the top party school in America. This is 1997. And let me read. Bert Kreischer's going to go to. It has taken the Florida State University student 6 years to become the man he is today. The top partier at the #1 party school in the country.
Yeah.
So I was going to say we're probably the same age, but I think we might be exactly the same age if you did 6 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was in there for a while. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. Thank God Rolling Stone came and discovered me.
And so what was it about your reputation? I mean, by the way, like this is a guy who, I mean, you made it, right?
Yeah,
Graduated, there you go.
I graduated. Yeah. Well, hold on. Pump your brakes. I had to take classes through the Florida State prison system while I was in New York starting stand-up. They would send me a box of books and like 3 tests and be like, send it back. It was tough. For a guy who didn't like reading, I had to read Grapes of Wrath. I had to read it and write a report on it. It's a snooze.
Yeah. So you come to New York, you know you want to be a stand-up, and that's like before you officially graduate, you make the move up here?
I walked. I didn't
Okay.
graduate. I came up here.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, I moved up here to start stand-up and got a job at Barnes & Noble down on Astor Place.
Oh my God, that's ironic.
Why? Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on, shut up. I didn't know what ironic was. Stop. Hold on, shut up. Hold on, shut up, and you don't know what ironic is either. That is ironic. I thought it was an oxymoron.
I'm just gonna say, I feel like you might have told a couple white lies in the interview.
I told them I could speak Russian. And the chick in the room was Russian.
Oh no,
And
wait,
she's-
in the interview?
In the interview, I was like, who saw that coming? We beat them. What are they doing here? And then he's speaking to me in Russian, and I said to her in Russian, "Следующая станция Gorkovskaya," which means next stop, Gorkovskaya. and she started laughing because that's what they say on the subways, and then I got the job. She goes, this guy's funny.
But so you were working at Barnes & Noble and you started doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And but you must have, I mean, like, again, you're giving yourself a hard time, but you must have known how to structure the ideas of doing stand-up. Did you take to it right away when you started doing stand-up in New York?
Yes, immediately yes, and then immediately no.
Okay.
Meaning, like, I was good right away at storytelling, and then I wanted to be like a joke writer.
Yeah.
But that's not who I am. I really am like a Florida man. I am a guy who sits around a bonfire, sits at a bar, tells stories. And once, I got to give it credit to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan told me, when I told the machine to him, he goes, that's who you are.
Yeah.
You need to start telling stories. I learned how to tell that story over 4 years, and in the process of that, I really found my voice.
Yeah.
And so, and doing the road, those shows in Dayton where you had to fill an hour. And so, yeah, storytelling is my natural, it's what I love the most. I love a great story. But yeah, those early years were like amazing.
But I mean, it really is something, and I feel like it's a great message to any young comedians, which is like it's a mistake to try to be every comedian. Like you ultimately have to figure out which comedian you are, and it's really nice you ended up doing the version of you that we all so much enjoy today.
Look, you're not a good stand-up until you're 40. That's how I feel. Like you got to learn who you are. You got to live a life. You got to experience life. Thank God. I always say this. Thank God my success showed up late in life and not at like 27.
Yeah.
Because at 27 and you get success, you believe that's who you are. And then at 50, at 44, when I got success, I go, this is just something that happened to me. You know? Like, like when Rolling Stone really screwed me up. And then when I had a ton of failure, it was nice to get success late in life. And that's where I sit. Now, I always say, if I could go back in time to that guy in that article, it's crazy. Because I would just say, hey, lean into it.
Yeah.
Like, keep drinking. Don't stop drinking. Don't stop drinking. Don't stop drinking. By the way, gain weight. It's going to work for you. It's going to work for you. And also, the shirtless thing at parties, it works so much better than you know.
Well, the good news is he didn't even need that advice, because here you are. So.
I am shocked. Trust me when I say this. I'm a fan of the show. I've seen this show. Never did I think I would be on this show. And I am shocked that I'm here, and I'm so pleased and so privileged. Thank you.
Well, I'm thrilled you're here. Thank you so much. Congrats on the show. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody, this is Bert Kreischer. Free Bert premieres Thursday on Netflix. We'll be right back.
Thank you.